Have you ever met someone who's just really good at what they do? Like they light up when they talk about it? And you're sitting there thinking, wow, I wish I had that kind of passion? Yeah, same. But here's a little secret. You do have that spark too. You just might have buried it somewhere under school stress, work deadlines, or your mum yelling, "Get a real job." Let's talk about how to develop yourself. Not by forcing yourself into something boring, but by actually following your interests. Because honestly, developing yourself shouldn't feel like suffering. It should feel like leveling up in a game you actually enjoy playing. Now, first things first. What even are your interests? If you said, "I don't know," don't worry, you're not broken. Sometimes we forget because we're so busy doing what we have to do that we stop thinking about what we like to do. So here's a simple trick. Think about the things that make you lose track of time. For example, maybe you love drawing random doodles during boring Zoom meetings. Congrats, you might have a thing for art. Or maybe you love explaining stuff to your friends. Boom, maybe you're a natural teacher or communicator. Interests aren't always big. Obvious things like music or sports. Sometimes it's small stuff, like organizing your desk or giving advice. Yeah, even that counts. Some people build full careers just by doing what they enjoy. Ever heard of someone who reviews snacks on YouTube for a living? Yeah, they're literally being paid to chew. Amazing, but here's where most people get stuck. They like something, but they don't develop it. Liking is easy. Developing takes a bit of effort, but the fun kind. For example, if you like writing, don't just say, "I like writing." Write something every day. It doesn't have to be Shakespeare. Write a tweet, a short story, a diary entry, or a dramatic grocery list. Eggs. Because I can't face another sad morning without them. The more you do it, the better you get. And suddenly your small interest starts turning into a skill. Think of your interests like little seeds. If you water them with time and effort, they grow. If you ignore them, well, they just sit there like that cactus you bought in 2021 that's now somehow made of dust. The cool part is, when you grow in something you actually care about, it doesn't feel like hard work. You'll still struggle sometimes, of course. Everyone does. But it'll feel worth it because you're doing it for you, not for some random checkbox in life. Let me tell you a quick story. I had a friend who loved video games and everyone kept telling him, "That's a waste of time." But instead of giving it up, he learned how games are made. He started designing small levels, then learned coding, then graphic design. Fast forward a few years when he's now working for a game studio. So yeah, the same thing people said was a waste of time became his full-time job. Moral of the story, what other people think is useless might actually be your goldmine. Now, developing yourself doesn't mean you have to make everything about money or success. Sometimes it's just about becoming a more interesting version of yourself. Like if you love cooking, try learning new recipes. If you love talking, try podcasting. If you love plants, learn how to keep them alive. That alone is a great life skill. Every time you do something that aligns with your interests, you build confidence. You start to realize, hey, maybe I am good at stuff. And that feeling, that's growth. That's you developing. Here's another thing. Don't compare your journey to others. Your friend might be into fitness and you might be into photography. That doesn't make either of you better. Imagine if everyone in the world was a bodybuilder. Who would take the cool gym photos then? Exactly. Also, stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. If you keep saying, "I'll start next week," spoiler alert, next week never comes. Start small. Do something today. Watch a video, read an article, take one tiny step. That's how momentum builds, one step at a time. Remember, developing yourself based on your interests is not a one-time project. It's a lifelong adventure. You'll change, your interests will change, and that's okay. What matters is that you stay curious. Because curiosity keeps life fun. It's what makes you wake up excited to learn, to create, to try again. So stop thinking you need to find your passion. Instead, start following your curiosity. It'll lead you right where you need to be. So here's your little challenge. Tonight, before you go to bed, write down 3 things you actually enjoy doing, even if they seem silly. Then pick one and do something small related to it this week. You'll be surprised how fast you start growing when you grow in the direction you actually like. And who knows, maybe one day someone will look at you and say, "Wow, I wish I had that kind of passion." And you'll smile because now you know, you always did. You just decided to follow it. If you loved it, like, share, and let me hear your thoughts.